Hello guys, it's finally time for a long video and I have so much to share, and actually that's the format I like most. And yeah, first of all, let's start talking about what's happening now. My two companies are finally, the second one is also intact and things are going just fine. Now, my latest experience, because it's important, is that actually after three, 3 weeks and something like almost a month, I drank my first beer. We were on actually we were having lunch with a precious family member, a very good friend of my parents. So um, we actually very good. It's like more than that. He was one of the best friends of my father, and literally they helped each other in just everything. And I drank my first beer on that meeting, which could be actually kind of fine. But if you ask me, because yeah, after all, I'm sharing experience and I'm sharing it the way I have experienced it. So actually, one beer is not anything you can actually underestimate. It changed. Well, I didn't get drunk at all. First of all, I've drunk like at the very most like 6 to 10 beers in one night, for example. So I've got that kind of training. Um, when I was mostly when I was teen, from time to time, like uh, once per 2 3 months, it has happened in years, except with the exception of the 2 years where I was totally and entirely free of all toxicity. And yeah, my experience is literally cut that out. Don't even do that. Maybe one small beer or something like that from time to time, and then a good workout or something like that that will compensate. I tried that, and still, it's like I'm not sure if it's the hormones, if it's something about energy, maybe that you don't really need that much vitamin B, or I'm not sure about it, but it wasn't the nicest experience, and it's only one big beer. That's it. That's 500 millimeters, milliliters, and yeah, that was it. That was it. One glass of beer, one draft beer, uh, big one, a good beer, Erdinger. It was perfectly fine, but yeah, it was like it still counted and kind of disturbed my perfect record for like 3 weeks. But after all, I don't feel like it was bad or anything. Just don't recommend it. If you can, better don't do even that, and meet with people that don't have that toxic habit the most you can. I mean, if most of all your friends are doing that, you don't have to. You can still meet with them and have fun, but you don't have to drink. If um, most probably it won't be good for you. So yeah, if you are going um, for the big game, let's say, in this world, um, I will tell you a secret about that, and I'm starting from here. There are several topics I want to talk about, and they are mostly business related, and that's the first one. Actually, um, you know about, for example, the aristocracy, and then the bourgeois. I'm not sure how to pronounce that, but actually, the richest people after the aristocracy was already like at its bottom, and the aristocrats didn't have that kind of power anymore. So they were replaced, so to say, by the richest traders, the people that got into the industry first got their factories, etc., etc. So at this point, I can tell you a bit about Freemasonry and about some of the social groups that were on the top of the world. As we speak, most of the richest people, the most influential people, also not all of them wanted to be so financially free. So I mean, most of them were stable, but some of them didn't respect money that much. I mean, they respected money most probably, but they weren't focused on that. So that they wanted other kind of influence to be writers, to influence the most people they can. From their classes, you can see and understand that you have to think for yourself, has that even changed so much? But at this point, still, most people were making and doing what they were doing mostly for their class, their hierarchical class. For example, it's the bourgeois once again, the aristocracy, etc., etc. You're talking to the other from that class. You're not talking to all of the people, but if someone can understand you, he or she is free to try, but still you're mostly talking about people that are with similar status, maybe a little bit below you at this point, maybe the youngsters, the young people from your class, but you're not talking to just anyone. You're not talking to you're not trying to solve the problems of the whole world, which is the good thing that nowadays actually that second thing is happening, and that's so much better. But I wanted to focus on another thing. For example, there were some Christian clubs with, related to the Christianity, Catholic Church, etc., etc. There were some secret society level social clubs that were actually exclusive, and only a few people, only the best from the best could actually join, like the Rosa Kreuzer, like the, I don't know, some of the maybe I'm not sure which families. For example, you know about Medici and their followers, all those people that actually by somehow well got that heritage of the Medicis, because there were so many families, so many they were a bit, there was a bit more social mobility in that class, so there were types of families, types of well, let's say whole communities that could benefit from the Medici, and they were like billionaires in their time, if we consider the inflation, etc., etc. So they were some of the richest people in the whole world, and so some of their they were the ancestors of well, families that fought, so some of those families and that took that heritage actually, and many others. But let's say that there are so many social clubs that were actually in a better position. The members of those social groups were in a very much better position than most of the people. And for example, if only most of them at this point, that's not cool, but most of them were young men, or men of different age, but let's say for the youngsters it was what I'm going to say, it's like if you see such person in a nightclub, in a bar or something like that, drinking beer, for example, in the daytime, during the day, actually they were totally firing him from the whole society. They were literally taking him out, so he can't participate anymore. Maybe once or twice it was like reasonable and understandable if there was a reason for that. If it was about communication, about meeting a lady or something like that, it could be. I think it could be an exclusion from that kind of, let's say, it's literally like wow level of certainty for the society that actually that shouldn't happen, because one gentleman wasn't supposed to actually drink during the day, and it was very important. And there were many different kind of rules like that. Like I said, low level rules, in which in, in most of those cases um, some of those members could be excluded all the way out, literally instantly, if someone sees them, of course. But that's one of the biggest mysteries of all times. Actually, most of the times it was happening easily. Someone was those societies, those communities had so many eyes. I mean, most probably we don't really know how they were watching everything at all time. Let's say it's still a mystery because they didn't have the cameras. They had people watching, and I don't know. Maybe they were paying people. Maybe some of their members were just well, like had that role to just uh, I'm not sure circle around and um, see if everything is right. Uh, and maybe it was about competition. Some people didn't want to, for the members that joined recently, for example, to continue. So to eliminate some competition, they were actually trying to catch them. But anyway, that's an interesting thing to be discussed, but we don't know. We're not certain about it. But what I was trying to say, even a bit, uh, it was that there wasn't a rule to not drink at all alcohol, but was during the day. But still, let's say we are on a different level now, and the scale is different. Actually, the dynamics are well faster, let's say, and actually you need to be even more adequate to continue in this route, grading and scaling, so you can actually achieve your dreams. And it's not an easy thing, if you ask me. For example, I'll tell you my story now, a little bit about what's happening lately. Once more, you may most probably know of what has been happening recent years. I've shot a video or two, but and also had some events where we were talking about that with some of my companies. But let's say most of you, I hope many people can actually watch that. And yeah, so actually most of you don't really know what's happening. Well, I've got two companies, like I said, and many projects. I'm actually participating in many projects, and I think that's the only way you can have that's the stable level. That's the only way you can be sure that actually you're doing fine. Because if you're many people are telling you focus on one thing, maybe focus on one skill and like skill it to the very most and use it always and everywhere. But just a second. Focusing on one thing doesn't mean you have to actually know only one thing and really focus on only one thing. It's like I'm a little bit doing too many too many practices, not too many different jobs, too many different kind of tasks, etc., all at once. That's true. I'm losing focus from time to time, and I don't recommend that. But if you are trying to just like focus on one thing and scaling it, and you think that it's enough, I have shared that in a short video actually. And if you think that's enough, nowadays you can just like have one skill. For example, let's say if you wanna tell something to the world, and it has to be some kind of very specific hard skill that is like, for example, blacksmithing, and you know only that, and you are shooting a video how you are actually making a sword, for example. I don't know, something that people would love to watch. Okay, it's fine, but it has to be some kind of very specific skill. So even if you are, for example, making kale, literally boiling it, and the procedures, etc., all that stuff, and most probably you wouldn't start from there. You have some other skills before that happens. So if you're not, if it's not the family business, you have just acquired or something like that, you'd most probably well have to start from somewhere, make some money, and then focus on brewing. And yeah, let's say actually everything needs more than one skill. It's very hard to even create something with only one skill. You can focus on something, on a topic, on a niche, or something that's a little bit bigger, and then try to skill there. But focusing and concentrating on only one thing at a period, if you ask me, that's a mistake, and you could regret that in time. You have to understand first of all, many of the people that are extremely successful, like big time multimillionaires, billionaires, I don't know, most probably most of them are multimillionaires, but let's say they're telling you it wasn't that hard. Well, most probably because you have to be motivated, you're made to believe it wasn't that hard. And then they're saying something like you just have to be first in something. Well, guys, first of all, I've been on the top of some martial arts uh, for my age and in my age, and I know what is actually needed in order to be the first in your country. It's Bulgaria. It's not a very big country. I've been in international tournaments, etc., and yeah, I had good performance also. But let's say first of all, I was a little bit higher and had a little bit more reach. I'm more into the striking martial arts, so it wasn't. Yeah, I had some advantage from my genes, so yeah, it wasn't. I had some advantage, so it wasn't strictly speaking and I was working very hard. All of the time, I was literally. I'm not so much of a hard worker all of the time. I hadn't, for example, been training, for example, for 8 hours every day, each day for weeks. But before some competition, before some tournament, before well, some event that includes sparring, actually, I am focusing, for example, like something like which happened now, the situation when I was totally out of all toxic habits or toxicity, all of it, for 3 weeks, something like that. 1 month before that, I'm clear of all of the shit that can actually happened to me. So I'm focusing and concentrating all that period. I'm focused on only that, and I think that have been enough for me. But in the business, it's a little bit well harsher than that, I would say, because you can't focus for only 3 weeks to a month or two. It's or a couple of months. It doesn't matter. It's like you have to focus. You have to remain focused for years on years. It's like you have to be always there. Of course, you can have a day off. It's not so strict. You can actually fluctuate. You can be adaptive. You can be a little bit like fluid. You don't have to be so. For example, you can take 3 weeks off, and that shall, if you are doing fine, that shall be perfectly fine. And sometimes you need that kind of well, break in order for you to just have that kind of inspiration to continue with new power, with new refreshed and with new energy. Let's say you have to energize by just taking a break from time to time, and that's the best in the entrepreneurship, that actually you can afford stuff like that. Or for example, you have worked very hard for 16 hours, you can take 2 days off. I mean, it's not strictly speaking off, because you have some job. You have to, for example, go to a meeting, have some calls, etc., etc. But that's something that's happening. You just have to, well, sacrifice, for example, some of the times with your friends, or I don't know, from your hobby. It's like 1 or 2 hours in that certain day off. So it's nothing. I mean, it doesn't bug me at all. It's like just things from life, and from things when you do business, things like that will happen. So after all, at the end of the day, and at the end of the decade, you have actually like some material to step on. So you have what actually you wanted from life. And for example, most of the people are thinking about, in the terms of the American dream, they want to have cars, they want to have, for example, mansions, houses, etc., etc. But most of the most successful people will tell you that, first of all, it's kind of, you can, when you can afford that, you can afford that. Don't just stand there and live the same way after you've already made it. You have to spend some, yeah, okay, you have to, but let's say do that at the very latest moment possible. There are some mistakes. I want to talk about mistakes now, because I've seen several cases in which people were actually, well, let's say, delaying that kind of mistakes for a very long time, but at the very end they made the wrong decision, and well, it's not cool. So, and because we're already on that topic, let's talk a little bit about mistakes and about investment, and how to do it the proper way. First of all, for example, now I have I've planned something, and I think most of you can do that. Maybe all of you can do that, actually. And it's about, first of all, you have to understand, if you want to sell something to someone, it doesn't matter, you need a good marketing. Good marketing now, more than ever, more than it was, costs you some money. So you have to reinvest part of your money, if you're having business, in marketing. And of course you're learning, and you can actually understand more and more, and do the same marketing with less money, or with the same money um, you can I mean do better marketing, be more efficient, and do more with the same money, which is recommended. That you can also choose to, for example, let's say you want to actually spend less money on marketing, and you could have the same result with less money, but the matter is like, why would you actually refuse to scale, refuse to grow? Better spend the same amount of money and a bit more, but do much more. That well, go for much better results, so you can actually do that time after time, and at some point you'll be on the top of the world, already free of the need of doing that. You most probably continue and teach your kids how to do that, but and most probably they will, but let's say from that point it's about some kind of discipline and doing the right thing, but you won't need to do that anymore. You can actually retire at a very young age. You can actually, and if you ask me, it's a very cool thing to let your kids actually do whatever they're good at, whole their lives. I mean, why would you actually restrict them and make them work in, I don't know, some kind of fast food, restaurants or delivery service or something like that at a very young age when you're a millionaire? I mean, they can, for example, be in some company in the marketing, in the sales, for example, something like that, for short period of time, like at the very most a few months or a year, so they can actually learn from the people there, the whole process, to see the whole process of, all right, but why would some domestic work be required to, in order just to break their ego, just to reduce? Yeah, I don't really think, but I don't have kids, so most probably I don't understand that. You won't spoil your kids. I'm saying that if they're working hard and they're showing that, you don't really have to be harsh on them and make them do things they really don't want to do, because if you can afford that, of course. I mean, most probably you don't really have the full authority on them. You can't decide for them that, for example, they work this or that. But let's say you're in a good position, you don't have to force them to do things they don't really want to. But yeah, that's part of the topic. But let's concentrate. Let's return to where I was before that, and it's very important. Don't do the mistakes many people are doing. For example, some friends now, it's like two couples I know about, decided to go in a very much more expensive home, and to literally take rent and I mean take credit and um, for and continue to just pay it for like 30 years. It will be paid off or something like that. Both of those people, and they're mostly working similar professions to 9 to 5 hours. At least one of them, one of each couple is like 9 to 5, but none of them is in the business. None of them is an entrepreneur. It's like for each and every couple, the one is like something like a very specific, high grade position, like management, and the other one is 9 to 5, typical. And they're they're not uh, they're good paid, let's say, above the average, but still very far from having the opportunity to do such a move, to buy a very, very expensive home without some cost. That will most probably cost them so much that they will most probably now earn just a percentage of their salary they after all of the taxes and after they have paid their debt, the, the actually percentage you need to pay each and every month. What's that? Uh, like, it's not called mortgage, it's called, oh wow. But you understand what I'm talking about. After they pay all of their needed expenses in the month, that they'll be left with, like, I don't know, maybe uh, summary, the sum of their both salaries will be something like, I'm not sure, but let's say $2,000 at the very best, something like that, for a couple. And it's like, how will they actually, how can you invest with so little amount of money? You don't really, then you have to work to actually pay for the home for like 30 years. Like, why would you do that? I mean, what's the point? And then they can't actually let their kids live freely. They'll be a little bit safer because they got their homes in those complexes. I don't know how's the word, where you have it's a closed complex where you actually have that kind of security. You have several guards always there, and your kids can have some places to play in that closed facility, that closed space that's left. And yeah, it's very strange because you're paying so much about something so little. So I mean, you can still live in um, like twice less expensive good apartment goes. Those are apartments, not houses. Let's say you can have a bigger apartment, twice less expensive, in a very good part of the city, even better part of the city, but it won't have that kind of, well, wall that's actually separating you from, like, the other part of the town, the city, etc., etc. It's like you're paying literally double that price, and you can't afford it. I mean, for the people who that's like literally some coins for them, uh, just that they can literally that's nothing for them. It's cool, but most of the people buying apartments in those kind of facilities, those complexes of buildings that are designed to, actually they're not so rich people at all, for example. So that's a very big mistake, guys. Don't do that. Please don't do that. Please don't mess with your life on such a scale, because you most probably, first of all, you're teaching your kids, they're uh, learning more from example than from words, teachings. You can't really teach them not to do the same mistake. If you understand that's a mistake, most probably they'll do the very same thing. They'll just buy even more expensive. house or apartment when they don't have the money, and they'll just have to pay for that, for like and they don't have passive incomes to pay for that. They're just like, it's so mindless. I don't understand why people are doing that. And the value of that is so little. It's just you're separated. You're in a worse part of the town. You have to each and every day, for example, you have like, I don't know, some kilometers to the or some miles, as you wish, to the center of the town, to the center of the city. You have more space between you and the center of the city. You're not living in the best possible neighborhoods, but it's a closed one. It's like you have that wall, and you actually feel more comfortable, more safe. I don't know. People are doing that. There could be two reasons for that. First of all, it's very, let's say, my suggestion here is, what I think is happening is that those people have some kind of fear in them, and it's very normal, because 9 to 5ers are always put to the wall, like it said. It's like they're always stressed. They're always afraid of losing their job, afraid of not having enough money. They have only one. Most of them have only one main money stream, so they have to focus on that. They have to always be the best versions of them, their employee self. That they have to work the best they can, because there's a competition. Someone can take their position. There are so many costs of what an employee and what to be a 9 to 5er means. And if you are already there for years, you can't understand me, most probably because that's your life already. But if you separate, for example, let's say now we can actually do that here and now. Try to meditate, try to concentrate. If you can't meditate, do something about it, because it's a very important part of life. There are 7 parts of life, that 7 principles that you have to follow in order to have a decent life, and meditation is one of them. It's not sleep, meditation. You have to meditate. You can meditate by different. Someone can even be active while meditating. There are different ways to meditate, actually. But if you can't meditate, it shall be. You can't really. There will be problems following if you can't meditate, and I'm not kidding about that. You can check that. It's very much real, and it's happening. So try to now separate yourself from yourself. Like, try to literally see the things from an outer perspective. And now, if you're, for example, 9 to 5er, if you're an employee and you're working for someone, and there's a strict hierarchy and you can't really break the rules, so focus on that. It's very important. Do that now, literally. It's very important to see what the main problems are. You can actually observe. You can see what your main problems are at this point, at this moment. What would you change if you had that option, if you had that opportunity? For example, focus. Try that. I will give you 2 minutes, but yeah, let's just stop that video if you're still watching, and do that. And now, let's say you have done it. What did you see? Most probably, I have seen it in most people that are employees, actually, working for someone, and not on a very free under very free conditions. You know, the more conventional way. I would suggest, I would guess actually, I would guess that you have those problems I said earlier. Most probably you fear of losing your job. You're stressed because you can't really, you don't really have any freedom in your life. You have to be there always. For example, 5 days a week, I don't know, more than 200 days each and every year. Maybe much more than that. I'm not sure how much exactly are the employees working. For example, in my companies, it's something like all the people I have employed. First of all, they are very free. They have to just finish their tasks the best way possible and in time before the deadline is on, and that's the only thing they have to actually do. And if they succeed to do that, that there are no other conditions, so they're working like I guess something like at the very most 200 days uh, in annually, um, speaking averagely it could be something like that or even less than that. That I'm not sure. For an employee it's maybe more than that. Most probably it's more than that, because I know people are having at the very most 30 days off each and every year for vacation, and it's like if you're working 5 from 7 days. Oh well, I'm not really sure. But it shall be more than 200 days, I guess. Still, because 5 from 7. That means. Let me check that. Okay. Well, I didn't use a calculator, but it's surely more than 200 days. So yeah, it's happening. It's I don't really consider that as an option to be like put under the condition. So yeah, that's a problem. You have to understand. You don't have your time. You're actually giving your precious time for just some money, and it's small time money if you consider um, what you're losing. You could be doing like times, multiply that by times more money. Like you can put a multiplier 10x only by doing that, by freelancing and well, scaling in your skill. But let's say you're good at your job. Even now, if you're 9 to 5, you can make 10x what you're doing just by freelancing on, let's say, a little bit above the average price. And many people, many companies will actually pay you and will be happy about it, because actually freelancers are overpaid in many cases, and they're still they're still working, they're still getting the job. So yeah, and you can just try to freelance, even try it as a side hustle at the very beginning to see what's happening, and to actually once per month you can have at least some, well, activity to participate in, some well, employment, so to say, some kind of tasks you'll be given. You can win against the competition in so many, most probably in most niches, if you are already have specialized in at least one skill to a certain level. So yeah, at least, I mean, professionally, it's skill set. It's more than one skill, most probably. And that was the first topic, but I think we're clear about that. You need to be doing many things in order for some some of them to grow. I mean, first of all, it's not like many people are telling you have to focus on just one thing and scale it to the very maximum level. Well, that's not true, and I'll tell you why. First of all, not everyone is working the same way. Most probably, those people that are focusing on one thing are have the mindset, have those kind of brains that are letting them do that, and that they're getting more like sense of achievement, and like they're feeling more fulfilled if they're focusing on only one thing, and it's not getting boring for them. They're just literally feeling the skilling, and that they're happy about it, that they have to be a little bit better than yesterday, and that's just fine for them. But many other people can't. It's so boring. It's so boring for example, for me to focus on only one thing at period. It will be like the death of me. I can't. I don't want to do that, even if I could. And but that's not the only reason why that's the loser's mindset, if you ask me, because many of the other people will tell you just the other way around, but will tell you otherwise. But let's say, uh, let's say you're focusing on, yeah, you have to be focusing on one or a couple of things as a main focus and prioritize them. But after all, if all those other things, even your hobbies, are giving value in your job, you're learning something from each and every story, each and every experience is actually giving you uh, the experience that is skilling you even in your main activity. So if, for example, I work out something and I go to a different training now, and under different coach, for example, I will learn something and add value to what I was doing, and I will do that same old thing better now, because I have a different perspective, and I have tried it, I have the experience, so I can add something. I can add an element, I can add some factor that I didn't actually imagine before I've done it, because it's not so easy to just imagine things, that just to get the feeling from those things happening before you actually participate and do them, be in the process of doing them, of experiencing them. And when you got that kind of experience, you are actually accomplishing so much, because you're trying different things, you're going in different careers and in life, and you kind of add and that to your main activities. So you're scaling without even realizing it, and it's very much more interesting, that it's very much more attractive way of living. I mean, you can't just pull that away, pull that fact away. You can't concentrate. It's so boring to concentrate on only one thing. It's And let's say, for example, I told you that, for example, drinking even small time, having fun with, uh, let's say, having fetishes and going after them, etc., etc., you could be excluded from a secret society for only doing that. Once more, let's tell you something about the secret societies and the communities on a very, very, very high level. Most of them, like you say, like you know, like you have seen already, like in the movies, literally, they're using different real-time examples to make the characters be more realistic. So, those people on the very top are doing so many things. They are good at everything, I, am I imagining things, or that's the character you actually know from the screen? You actually, if you have some friends on the very top, they're focusing on one main thing, sure, but they know about everything. They have experience. They have so many different experiences that they have expertise in so many topics. They know about so many different things that they literally uh, they have skill set, that they have skills in so many, that they most probably have some martial arts, even battle sports, maybe some fencing even here. They can shoot with guns. It's like they're good at aiming, etc., etc. They're most probably, for example, they can be hunters. They can actually participate in the different kind of activities that are well more what's the word, conservative, like the aristocracy was doing, participating in hunts or something like that. Or it could be something very different, very much different, because, for example, they're pet lovers. For example, if they are and they are against violence, uh, against any kind of living being, which is perfect if that's the case. Then most probably they know, and they have like 7 different kinds of pets, and they know very much uh, about each and every of them, about their habits, about their preferred food. They know them as kids, as pets, literally. So they have even different kind of love for each and every of them, and they know how to actually give that love in order for the pets to feel the most comfortable, and let's say the most charmed they can, and to feel a good life. So yeah, they know, most of them, for example, participate in golf tournaments and some kind of golf activity. They know about religion. They know about that. They know about God. They know some secrets that they know, and they are good professionals in what their main activity in their company is, of course. So yeah, let's think about that. Can you actually succeed by doing just one thing? Maybe you can start from there, but from some point you have to actually grow. Consider literally expanding your consciousness can start now. And if you are too focused on one thing and it's not going very well, you can just try to a bit like unfocus for a period of time, for example, for a very small period of time. Try to for, like, I don't know how much free time you have, but let's say between 1 and 2 hours each and every day, just unfocus from that thing. Stop, literally meditate, stop thinking about it, and you see that you even become better at that same thing in no time. I mean, you have to separate yourself from the activity in order for you to understand better in what position you are, to look yourself from a different perspective, and that will give you value, and that will give you actually added value in this very same activity, the very same skill. Try that. If you haven't, if you, I don't know, if you have any questions about that, you can ask, and you can make your own research on that topic. It's not very good to focus on just one thing, but even if you are doing that, learn to unfocus from time to time, because it will be so much better for you. And um, you'll most probably great in no time. You become so much better. And but that's what we're talking about. Being better means you can earn more, then you can be more stable and do the things. Let's focus from one very important tax that employees and 9 to 5ers, for example, are paying each and every day in their lives is that they're not doing uh, what their passion is, that they're not living by their desires, that they're not living by their wishes, that they're just focusing on some harsh reality that they have to implement, that they have to live in to by somehow work with that. And from that kind of experience, they're making a living, and it's like they're literally existing from some point on. They're literally existing and they're living. There was very good Apple production. Um, Severance, it was it's a very real story. It's a metaphor. If we see that as a metaphor, you are literally like giving 8 to 10 hours from each and every working day, like giving it away. It's you're dead at this point. You're not the same person. You can be doing something that's good for yourself, but mostly you're just restricted there. You're living in a prison, 8 to 10 hours each and every day. Watch that series, Severance, and you shall get the feeling. Just think of that way, that manner. Try to get that feeling that actually you're in that position. You're actually living that kind of life. You don't when you are at your job, you can't focus on anything that's like above your job. That's different. That's separated from your job. That's well, you're beyond your job. You're focusing just on that little cube and you live in it. And even if it's an interesting job, let's say you actually like it, but if you like it, it's different. If that's what you wanted, first of all, think about it. You're a social construct. Your parents taught you much. You have learned much from school. You have been taught things in school. So think about, is it your wish when you were um, a very young kid and you were actually dreaming things to be like that, or to be like Batman, or to I don't know, with like some princess or something like that. It doesn't matter. It's different for each and every, or be it in NASA, for example, travel in space. Well, ah, stuff like that, an astronaut. And yeah, you're imagining things like that for your being a writer or being it's well, being an astronaut, it's not within reach. Being a Batman or a Superman isn't within reach. Okay, but for example, being a writer, it's always within reach. I mean, most many people dreamed of something they can become now. I mean, if they focus like 3 to 6 months from now, they can actually be in a position that will able them, but will enable them to actually become what they wished for, well, what their desire was. I mean, it's not so hard to imagine that if you wanted to be, but let's say you dreamed big, and at some point you stop dreaming. You just focus on reality, on the harsh reality. It's not so simple. Life is more sophisticated, more like difficult than that. You can't just be whatever you like, but you can. Actually, you can, and many people are proving that nowadays. For example, my best example that I can give actually is the kids that are literally playing video games. That's what they love, and they monetize that and become millionaires on the age of 16, for example. What do you think about that? If you have some passion, and you, most probably in in those days, in the world we're living now, you can actually find a way to monetize that, find a way to capitalize that, find a way to literally earn from that. It's so simple. It's not so simple. The process is not simple, but if you dedicate most of your time on that, for example, the time you spend in your 9 to 5, let's say you have, I don't know, some thousands you have saved, not much, just to live for like, I don't know, 3 months, from only them. It's not so hard to have that kind of spending, to save. If you start today, most probably for at the very most like 6 to 8 months, you have that savings, with which you can live free from those kind of job. Like, for you can, for example, have a part-time or freelance something. You can always achieve some kind of income, just work that online activities if you have to, that are earning you like, let's be realistic, around $2,000 monthly. You can easily make with that no-brainers activities that are actually making you good money. So if you need to do that, but if you don't have to, you can just focus for like, for example, 3 months straight, only on building that kind of environment, building yourself in that way, from which at the very end of this journey, from which point you can actually start earning from what your passion is, where your passion is. You start earning from what is actually close to you, to your heart, to your feelings. Start earning from that kind of thing you love. And oh my god, that's the philosopher's stone. Yeah, that's what you actually wanted. That's the thing you need. Well, I don't see why wait. Do that now. Start that today, because 3 months from now you'll be like you'll be thanking me with all your presence. Because if you have actually heard that from me, well, it's perfect. If you have heard that from anyone else, it's perfect. It doesn't matter, but you have to decide that for yourself. You have to decide. We have to. If we understand that, we have to teach other people. We have to give that advices each and every day. That's our responsibility. We can't keep that for ourselves. It's the most important thing. Earn from the things you love. That's the rule number one in life that will make you a better person. You live better ways under the blue sky. Let's hope it's blue for much longer. But yeah, it's a different kind. Yeah. So let's concentrate. Literally, it's so easy. It's so easy to be. I'll say to be a creator. For example, it's easy. It's kind of easy, but you have so many ways to actually start earning from what is best for you, what you love, etc., etc. And you need only like I think 3 months with good focus and dedication in only thinking of imagining a way of doing that, and then participating in that kind of activity you have imagined for yourself. I think everyone can achieve that. And that's it for now. Some of the topics are open, so I'll be doing different videos for them. And I hope you enjoy that. I hope this gives you something. And yeah, thank you very much, guys. See you later. Namaste.